Welcome back. In the last video, we coded up the money management system for our bot. So if you missed that episode, you can check it out here. Now that we've got our money management sorted, we can start backtesting different indicators. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to backtest our first confirmation indicator. Thanks to everyone who suggested indicators for this video. I decided to go with Lovey Love Quote's suggestion of the MACD, mainly because we can cover both the 0-line cross as well as the 2-line cross with it. I also released a new backtesting video showing the bot trading with the MACD on the pound USD pair, so make sure to check it out if you've missed it. I know a few of you wanted to see the SSL channel as well, and that one is slightly trickier since it's not a built-in indicator. So I think it's worth going through as well, and I'll be showing that in the next video. Okay, let's get into it. First, let's put the MACD crossover onto the chart so you can see how it works. This indicator has three parameters: a long cycle, a short cycle, and a signal period. And the default settings are 26, 12, and 9. The indicator also has three components: a histogram, a MACD line, which is the blue line, and a signal line, which is the red line. Whenever the blue line crosses below the red line, or when the histogram goes from positive to negative, that signals a sell trade, and vice versa. That's why we can either code it as a 0-line cross or a 2-line cross, and I'll be showing you both. Let's head over to the code editor now. The first thing we want to do is to create the MACD indicator variable, the same way that we created the ATR variable. It's also good practice to put comments in your code to explain what each part is doing, and you can do that by using these double forward slashes. So we'll just say create indicator variables here. Next, we'll need to load the MACD indicator when the bot starts. So let's put a comment here to say load indicators on startup. And we'll load the MACD the same way we loaded the ATR, using this default settings of 26, 12, and 9 for now. For these other lines, we need to put them in the on bar section, since we want to run these on every bar rather than just on startup. Let's cut and paste this over and rename this section to on bar. We'll put a comment here to say calculate trade amount based on ATR, which is what the first three lines are doing. And cool, now we're ready to code the 0-line cross. For that, we'll need to create a variable to get the latest value of the histogram by using macd.histogram.last1. We also need to create a separate variable to get the previous value of the histogram by using macd.histogram.last2. We can now check for a trade signal by using the if function and putting the logic that we want to test inside these brackets. If the current value of the histogram is greater than 0 and the previous histogram value is less than 0, that means it just crossed above the 0 line and we want to execute a buy trade. So we can cut and paste this line inside of these curly brackets, and we'll change the label of the trade to MACD. We also need to check for sell trades by using the else if function, and we'll just reverse these signs. So we're checking for when the histogram goes from positive to negative. And we'll execute a sell order when that happens. And we're done. Let's test it out. So we're waiting for the histogram bar to go negative for a sell trade here. Notice that we see it cross, but the bot hasn't executed the trade yet. That's because we put the code in the on bar section and we're waiting for the bar to close. If it's still negative when the bar closes, then the bot will execute a sell trade at the start of the next bar. Once the trade is on, we won't touch it until the price either hits the stop loss or the take profit. Let's watch it make 2 more trades to make sure it's working properly. The visual mode is great for visually confirming that the bot is working, but it's pretty slow even on the fastest setting, so you'd want to turn it off when backtesting over a longer period. In the history tab, you'll see all the trades that it made over the period, and you can click on each trade to jump to that trade on the chart. In the trade stats tab, you can see a summary of all the trades, including the total number of trades and the number of winning trades. Unfortunately, they don't show the hit rate, so we'll need to calculate it manually. And for this backtest, we got just over 70% using the default settings, which is pretty good. Remember that with this money management system, we need a 60% hit rate to break even. So anything above a 65% hit rate is worth investigating. Let's go back now and code up the 2-line cross. The signals will be exactly the same, so it won't change the result of the backtest. So keep this 24% return in mind. If you want to comment out an entire block of code, you can use the /* at the start of the block and then * / at the end of the block of code. For the 2-line cross, we need to create 4 variables, one for the current value of the MACD line, and the previous value of the MACD line. One for the signal value and also one for the previous signal value. The logic is pretty simple. We just want to check that the 2 lines cross. If the current MACD line is above the signal line and the previous MACD line is below the signal, that means we have a buy signal and vice versa. That's pretty much it, and we can confirm that it gives us the same result. I could end this video series here really, since technically we've already built a fully functional trading bot from scratch, and you can actually start trading with it by just pressing the play button and leaving your computer on. I don't suggest letting it trade with real money though, since there are a few important tweaks that we need to make to it. But you should now be able to test out most of the built-in indicators on different markets and also different timeframes. Please hit the like button if you found this useful, it really helps. Here's an extra bonus tip for you guys for sticking around. If you have watched VP's video on the MACD, you'll know that he likes to use it as a continuation trade signal. That means he'll take a buy signal when the MACD line and the signal line are both above zero. Let me show you how you can easily add this logic to your backtest. Let's go back to our code and we want to add two more constraints when checking for a buy signal. We want the MACD line to be greater than 0 and we also want the signal line to be greater than 0 as well. And vice versa for the sell signal. Now we can test it out to see if it works as well as VP claims. In this instance, it didn't do that well, which shows the importance of actually testing out these strategies yourself and not just taking someone's word for it. You can also be a bit creative and try different things. For instance, what if we flipped the logic and only took buy trades when both lines are below 0 instead? All we need to do is change these signs around. So let's see how that works. It seems like that actually works a little bit better. And we've also improved our hit rate to 71%. You can also play around with the parameters of the MACD. For example, let's see what happens when we reduce the short cycle to 7 bars instead of 12. With just that slight tweak, we've now improved our hit rate to 78%. So here's a challenge for you guys. Have a play around with this bot and see if you can improve it even further to get it over 80% hit rate. Try it on other currency pairs as well. It won't work as well on all currency pairs, but it does do a decent job on other pairs like the Aussie yen. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to use custom indicators like the SSL channel, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to get notified as soon as that comes out.